Are you ready to go to the Civil War Museum? Okay, Tommy, you can go on ahead. There's a no eating in the museum rule, so I have to finish my donut here.
That sign says no loitering.
Ugh, there's always a catch. I'm gonna go find a spot where I can eat my donut without getting in trouble.
Pull lever for tour guide.
Hello.
Welcome! These other guys and I are gonna give you a tour.
Where do you want to go first?
Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
Abraham Lincoln was born in Kentucky in 1809.
His parents were farmers and they hardly made any money.
He was holding an axe and doing hard labor when he was just 7.
He went to school for only 1 year, but he read books for more education. He really loved reading.
And that's why you should read, kids. He left home at the age of 22 and became a store clerk. One time, he walked for miles just to give a person a few pennies that he overpaid at the store.
And that's why Honest Abe was his nickname.
He was captain in the army once.
After being a captain, he became a lawyer.
In 1846, he was elected to the House of Representatives.
In 1860, he became our 16th president.
Was he popular with the people then?
He was popular in the North, but it didn't go good with the South. The South left the Union because they feared Abe Lincoln would represent only the North. He might end slavery and limit states' rights.
Then, in 1861, the war shifts into gear and Lincoln is the president.
Yup, it was stressful. I would sometimes have depression attacks, and my kids were
the
my
statue's
rays
talking.
of sunshine during the big war. I wanted to keep the Union together.
The war lasted 4 bloody years.
Then, on January 1st, 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, freeing all the slaves in the United States.
A few years later, the 13th Amendment was ratified, making slavery illegal in the U.S.
The war ended in 1865. Then, the same year, Lincoln got assassinated by John Wilkes Booth. Lincoln, where are you going?
Lincoln, you're a wax figure.
You didn't see a talking Lincoln.
We didn't see a talking Lincoln.
Lincoln, look out! It's John Wilkes Booth!
Where was I?
Lincoln was ranked as the nation's greatest president. Sorry, Washington.
To the next exhibit.
Next is Ulysses S. Grant. Wait, Grant, isn't that your name?
Yep. U.S. Grant was born in 1822 at Point Pleasant, Ohio.
He left Ohio to join the West Point Military Academy in May 1839.
He first fought in the Mexican War as a quartermaster.
After the war and resigning his commission, he returned to Missouri to begin working on a 60-acre farm near St. Louis.
Next, he worked as a clerk at his father's store.
1861, President Lincoln made Grant a brigadier general in the Union Army.
On March 3rd, President Lincoln made Grant Lieutenant General and Chief of all armies.
In 1864, Grant and Lee go head-to-head at the Battle of Wilderness. Who is Lee? We'll get to him later. For now, just know he is the Confederate general for the South.
Did Grant win?
It was considered a tie. However, Grant lost 2 times as many men as Lee.
But in some ways, it was a victory. Grant was using a new strategy. In the Civil War, Grant lost 5 Union soldiers for every 3 Confederate soldiers. But Lee could not replace his men, and Grant could.
In the long run, Grant would win.
And he did. Lee surrendered to Grant at the McLean House in 1865.
After the war, Grant was made the first 4-star general in U.S. history.
After Lincoln was assassinated, Lee was to be tried for treason, but Grant helped him out. Grant was all? Hey, I know I just beat you, but I'm gonna defend you because Lincoln would have wanted that.
Hey, we're not to you yet. Go back to your pedestal.
Okay.
Moving on, U.S. Grant was elected the 18th president at the age of 46, the youngest to be elected at that time.
Here we are. I didn't lie at all, Tommy.
Where's Lee?
Here he comes.
Next is Robert E. Lee. He was the general of the South and was regarded as one of the world's finest generals.
He was born January 19th, 1807, to an aristocratic Virginian family. He entered the West Point Military School in the summer of 1825.
The same as Grant. In fact, I was called the Marble Model.
Why was he called the Marble Model? Because in West Point, students thought he was the model student.
And also served in the Mexican War.
Also like Grant. After the Mexican War, he served as superintendent at West Point in 1855.
At the beginning of the war, Lincoln asked Lee to lead the Northern armies.
He was a Virginian and would not kill fellow Southerners.
He did not fight for the South until Virginia was invaded.
He was considered a great general as he was frequently outnumbered, but still kicked butt.
However, Grant and the North had too many men and supplies, so Lee was forced to surrender on April 9, 1865.
He asked his men to go home and see their loving families and fight no more.
Where did Lee go?
After the war, he became the president at Washington College in Lexington, Virginia.
He died on October 12, 1870. And here is Eli Whitney.
Eli Whitney?
No. Eli Whitney.
He was born in 1765 and died in 1825, 35 years before the Civil War.
Then what does he have to do with anything?
Well, he invented the cotton gin that made it easier to separate cotton fibers from seeds.
We are getting ahead of ourselves.
He was born on a farm in 1765 in Westborough, Massachusetts.
He grew up and attended Yale University and worked on a tobacco plantation in South Carolina.
And tobacco is used in smoking. Don't smoke, people!
When the tobacco industry went down in profit, the employer switched to cotton.
Cotton was abundant but hard to manufacture.
There were too many seeds, so it was frustrating to get the seeds out by hand.
Eli Whitney was an inventor and set to work on a device that could separate the seeds and cotton fiber faster.
He was able to invent a device, the cotton gin.
He patented the cotton gin in 1794.
Unfortunately, the device was easily duplicated, and he spent most of his time suing everyone who stole his idea.
Still don't get why I have to learn about this guy and why I have to learn about the cotton gin.
The cotton gin was a major cause of slavery because after the cotton gin was invented, cotton could be manufactured more easily. So, every cotton plantation said, "Activate Big Business Mode! We need to pick more cotton and get rich!" They bought slaves to pick more cotton for more money and accidentally made slavery profitable.
Oh, now you tell me. But Eli wasn't done. He was also partly responsible for the northern economy.
In 1798, Eli went into the arms business. He had a contract to make 10,000 muskets.
Making 10,000 muskets is very time-consuming. Eli conceived an idea of creating a musket from interchangeable parts. This helped start the industrial business revolution of the North.
Hey, is this one of the muskets here?
Be careful, Tommy. You too, Eli. The musket could go off anytime. Eli, was that you? Nope.
And that's why you don't play with guns, kids.
Hey dude, do you know what a Clara Barton exhibit is? I think I got grazed by a musket bullet. Down the hall, sir. And that's where we're going next.
Next is Clara Barton.
She was one of the most honored women of American history.
She was born on December 25th, 1821, in Oxford, Massachusetts. She was born on Christmas?
Yes, she was. She originally started as a teacher and opened the nation's first free public school in 1854.
She worked in the patent office next. This made her one of the first women to work for the U.S. government.
During the Civil War, she began aiding soldiers.
Soon she moved to the front lines and got the nickname Angel of the Battlefield.
She often used her own money and resources to help the front lines.
After the war, she went to Europe to rest, and there she met members of the International Red Cross.
When she came back to the U.S., she began the American Red Cross in 1881.
Continued to support the humanitarian efforts of the Red Cross until she retired at the age of 83.
She died on April 12, 1912, at the age of 90.
Now the tour is over. Back to the exit! Bye, Tommy. Good luck on your report.
Okay, bye. Wait, where's Lincoln?
Nom nom nom. This is delicious. I wish they had this back in the 1800s. Look, the Declaration of Independence is being stolen.
Lincoln, the Declaration isn't being stolen. Whatever. We'll find him. Bye, Tommy.
Hello, brother. It's time to go.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
Going on a Lincoln hunt. Going on a Lincoln hunt. We're gonna go find him.
Find him.